What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. Welcome to another episode of the show. It is Tuesday, it's August 7th, and you know what? I actually do have a couple of news stories. Well, not really news stories, but I do have some games to talk about. Obviously, we will get into chat, of course, and we will check out the various subreddits, we'll check out the various websites, and kind of get an idea of what is going on. The trailer that we have running here, this of course is Gran Turismo Sport. It just recently got an update with a number of new cars. Don't know if anybody has tried that. I thought about renting this again to try these new cars out just to see for myself. Crunchy is in the building. Fluke is in the building. Roy Schwartz. Turned on your AC today. Yeah, AC is at the normal level that I would have it prior to a show. Yesterday was a complete and utter screw up in terms of I just got home, came back here, turned on all the lights, closed the door, totally forgot about the AC, and it gets hot in the afternoon. Let me tell you, Noah is in the building. Noah, what is up? So Noah, let me ask you, I looked at the Magic Leap subreddit a little bit earlier today. No news, right? As far as I know, there's no Magic Leap news as we know of. Like, tomorrow could be a big day. It is August 8th, 2018, 8/8/18. A lot of people think Magic Leap may arrive tomorrow on Wednesday. We have VR Spry Guy checking in. Hello everyone, what is up, VR Spry Guy? Okay, so you know what, we got a number of things to get into, so why don't I actually just go ahead and start thinking about getting into something. Let me check out, actually before I do that, I should throw on, you know, our standard opening trailer real quick. Yeah, so VR Game Rankings, this of course is the Daily Vlog Live. It is episode 171, and today is Tuesday, August 7th. You know, today, Electronauts is available, and I believe when it launched today, it launched with a sale price of $17.99. And I actually will be talking about Electronauts a little bit later in the show. But first, you know what, I thought I would throw this trailer up on here now. I watched a little bit of this, but I don't have a really big take on this. But this game is called Land of Amara, and I think the whoever was talking about this on the Vive subreddit was saying that it is very similar to Stardust Valley or Stardew Valley. What was the name of that game? Hold on, let me bounce over to the Vive subreddit myself and see actually what this guy was talking about. But yeah, Stardew Valley. Okay, it's inspired by games like Stardew Valley, Land of Amara, and they have a Patreon for this, which is kind of weird. Usually there's like a Kickstarter for games. This is a Patreon for games, and it's Paw Stamp Studio is the name of the developer, Paw Stamp Studio. So let me go ahead and grab that. It's right here. And we'll hear a little bit of sound. I love the color, you know, I love how bright it is. Oh, damn. How rude, how rude. That's a little bit like Dino Frontier on PSVR in terms of like picking up little characters and grabbing them and moving them around. You obviously have a menu. It looks like you're going to be dealing with like resources, chopping down trees, probably building an entire village, blah, 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 I'm guessing. These games are really cool in VR though, and Noah, Okay, yeah, Noah's saying we have no real clue. I don't think there is any news right now on Magic Leap. But Noah, this is the kind of game where if you play this in VR, if you can get the view where it's like right up here, like Brass Tactics, you could just grab the table of Brass Tactics and just move it up. And you can get that little Pixar animation quality where you see the character right there. This game could possibly feature that. I don't know how close we can zoom in on it. And you obviously have all the menus. This is the other thing that VR is revolutionary for, is like back in the flat gaming days, I wouldn't want to play a game like this because navigating through all these menus would just be a pain in the butt. With VR being able to move things around and just hit buttons, sometimes it actually makes it so much easier. Noah says it looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, we got to hesitate here because this is just a Patreon for a game. A Patreon, which is kind of weird. Have you guys seen Patreons to help fund a game? I've seen Kickstarters to help fund a game. Didn't know that Patreon was a method that people would take. But anyway, yeah, I didn't want to give this game too much pub, but it does look pretty cool. And they are talking about it on the Vive subreddit right now. Go ahead and check this out. Yeah, this has 98 upvotes. It's got 42 comments. Paw Stamp is the Redditor that did that. Okay, that just goes to the YouTube video. Hold on a sec. Let me see what they're saying in comments. So here's the #1 comment. So I can't help but notice that you posted this in the R-Vive, yet your Patreon page says it's only in active development for the Oculus at the moment. Controversy already in the very first post. As a huge Stardew Valley fan, over 550 hours played, I'd love to support this, but I have a Vive and PSVR, no Oculus. And Paw Stamp is saying, hey, you can check out the goals on my Patreon page. One of them is to develop a version of the Vive. And then a lot of people come back and say, dude, it really shouldn't be that hard to get this game up and running on the Vive if you develop it in OpenVR. This one guy's saying, why don't you just use Steam OpenVR? It supports all headsets. And the developer Paw Stamp says, never thought about that. I will definitely check it out. Thanks for the tip. So that is, yeah, if you go to the Oculus subreddit as well, I believe they're talking about this game as well. And it pretty much works like this. If you've got a brand new VR game and you have a pretty good trailer that you can show off, you're going to get attention. Like right now, you're going to get attention. And we've seen that happen with all of these new games that have a pretty decent trailer. They throw the trailer up on there. They talk about it on both of the subreddits. And you will definitely get people talking about that. So yeah, it's on the Oculus subreddit as well. But it's funny that this game has gotten a lot more run actually on the Vive subreddit, even though it's meant to be an Oculus game. So yeah, that is... That is Land of Amara. Forgot about what the name was. Land of Amara. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too shabby. So looking in Patreon. Tessrim. I have seen Patreon, yes. Okay, so I guess some people have used Patreon to fund games. All right. Paradise Decay. Black and White 2 would be great in VR. And Crunchy says, yeah, there should be mods for many of those old games to play them in VR with the VR controller support. I think he's talking about Populous because SAMIK81 is talking about Populous. Yeah, all these kinds of games. We've seen it with Tethered. We've seen it with so many games. Dino Frontier on PSVR. There's all these types of games where you can have little citizens, little villagers. You can move them around. You have them right in front of you. You can zoom in, zoom out. VR is perfect for any type of God-like game. I mean, you have the hands of God and you have the perspective of God that is hovering over the village and the villagers. So you can do a lot of incredible things with that. VR is perfect with that. AR is going to be really good with that as well. There's going to be probably a lot of AR games that are basically designed for you to go get in a comfortable chair, but to have a table right in front of you and the game is played out on the table. I think that's going to be a very common thing for a lot of AR systems as well. Fluke Rogi says, Anthony, have you seen the news that Bethesda is moving over to their own launcher and aren't putting their future games on Steam? Oh my God, is this like that is really the news? Holy smokes. They're not going to put any of their games on Steam, ever. Like, that sounds crazy to me. How do you just turn your back on Steam? I told you guys about this. I warned you guys about this. Let's talk about Space Junkies, ladies and gentlemen. Because the thing is, I think these video game companies that don't have hardware, but they have their own store, I'm not a fan of it. Now, a lot of people will say, hey man, well, Steam doesn't really have their own hardware. They have a store. They're the one that started this all. And whenever I talk about Steam, Steam is grandfathered in because of first movers advantage. Steam has first movers advantage. So I give Steam a pass. But after that, all these other third-party game companies that want to create their own store, my suggestion is you want to create your own store, create your own platform, and then have a store for that platform. And when I'm talking about platform, I'm talking basically about hardware. Create some awesome new hardware and then give me a store. Otherwise, don't have a store. But unfortunately, Electronic Arts with Origin, Ubisoft with Uplay, all these different companies that have their own stores, they're doing it. They're making money, and they're bypassing any middleman whatsoever. They get 100% of all the juice. If you go directly to their store and you buy their game, they get every penny. It's a dream come true for these companies. But not only are they selling their own games, but they're also like creating storefronts where they sell other games. And it's like, how many freaking ecosystems do we need to be involved with? Now, I understand you gotta have a lot of accounts for a lot of different gaming platforms, both console gaming, portable gaming, AR, VR, all kinds of stuff. You're going to have a lot of accounts, but I don't want to have accounts for just some nebulous store. I want to have accounts for a hardware platform. That's pretty much my thoughts on that. But let's go ahead and throw a different trailer on. Here's another brand new game. I need to get a sip of water. This one is called The Lost and Forgotten. Let's go ahead and check this out. Test Room says, oh yeah, rotate shapes. That's a brand new novel concept. Yeah, Fluke, I did get your message. I had a couple of stuff that I already was going to talk about, but yeah, you had a lot of great suggestions there. I'll definitely have to grab some of that. Paradise says, nice music. Yeah, you know, you put some good piano music. That looks like Zion. That looks like Zion in Utah, which I've been there, and oh my God, it's incredible. Like, I love that type of shit. Now, when it goes into these really dark caves, It's like, how long are you in this darkness? Although when you have the headset on, it probably looks a lot better. Yeah, you're moving things around. There's so many puzzle games in VR. It's like wave shooters and puzzle games. Two easiest things to do. Put some stirring music on in the background, a cool puzzle game. But I like these games. I wasn't really into puzzle games so much, but VR has kind of converted me. The Talos Principle, Zing the Land Beyond, so many great puzzle games. Super Hypercube. I mean, you guys can name some of your favorite puzzle games. But anyway, yeah, let's lower this. So some people were talking about, Phil Yarn says, yes, I did call it saying Bethesda and everybody else is going to have a store. What I didn't know, Phil Yarn, Bethesda already had a store. I just wasn't paying attention. And now they're making that store mandatory, I suppose. Crunchy says, look like Firewatch at first. Yeah, Firewatch in VR, would be honest. I like the very beginning part of this trailer where it looks like Utah. That's the part I really like this part. That's straight Utah. I like this part. I just want to be out there on a boat, on a canoe. You know what's going to be awesome, folks? Imagine we're playing VR and we have a special ceiling so that when we see a sun in VR, we can feel virtual heat. Like we'll feel real heat coming from a sun. Like how awesome is that going to be? Crunchy says Epic also has their own launcher too. Okay, the only Epic game I've been playing lately is Robo Recall, and do I have to launch something special for that? Because I don't know. Like I have Robo Recall on the Oculus Rift because I got an Oculus Touch and all of that. Am I launching a special Epic launcher for that? Because I'm unaware of it. I don't have any of their other games on this particular PC, so I don't have any launcher. Terry Blanchard says, good balance of things to do. I think he's talking about basically puzzle games in VR. VR and puzzle games is like butter and toast. They just go together very, very well. This is going to be out on August 31st, so it's not that far away. Do they have any other environments besides the outdoor Utah, Zion, Arizona kind of environment and these like indoor caves? Do they have anything else besides that? Like that would be interesting. But this does look pretty nice. Does look pretty good. Fluke Rogi says no, not for Robo Recall. It's for stuff where Epic is the publisher. Yeah, see, I don't play Fortnite. I'm one of the few people on. Check this out. Here's a shocking bit of news. I've never, ever, ever played Fortnite. Not even for a minute. My kids play it every single day. I've never touched it. I got to be truthful and say, since I got into VR, I just don't care about flat games. The only flat game that I played was Horizon Zero Dawn, and I primarily rented that just to see 4K. I just wanted to see 4K. I had a PlayStation 4 Pro, and Horizon Zero Dawn was supposedly 4K, and I have this 4K TV, and I just wanted to see what does that look like. And it was cool. I played Horizon Zero Dawn for about 3 hours, and I thought, oh, I miss flat games. And then the next day I completely forgot about it, and I was like, nope, I'm back to VR. I'm sorry, I'm spoiled. For me, I'm inside these worlds. I can't go back external. I mean, every once in a while for a retro game, maybe. Fluke Rogi says, nope, never played Fortnite either. Neither have any of my PC gaming friends. Wonder if it's an age thing. For me, it's just a flat game thing. For me, it's a flat game thing, and it's also, I'm not a multiplayer guy anyway type of thing, but it's mostly a flat game thing. I don't pay attention to any flat games. That's why when Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice came out, I knew nothing about that game. I don't go to like the old websites I used to go to. I don't even listen to the Giant Bomb podcast, which kind of sucks because I'd like to hear whenever they're talking about anything VR, I would love to hear that. But I don't like standard flat gaming, 4K TVs, and how many frames a second is the game, and G-Sync and all that. Just not into it, man. It's VR or bust for me, and I'm looking forward to AR, of course. Phil Yarn says, Zing is really good. I played Talos Principle on a free weekend, and it was really good, too. Talos Principle is freaking ridiculous, man. I think, honestly, the Talos Principle, if you guys... I feel like that is a top 20 game, and I just don't think anything else can touch it. But you know what? Let's talk about something different. Let's switch this up. I want to highlight a game that I have not really been considering very seriously at all, and not even been that interested in it. And that's this game Evasion, okay? But they were talking about this on PSVR. We're going to look at a few different screenshots of this game Evasion. It is coming to the Vive, the Rift, PlayStation VR. It's coming to all major VR platforms. And I'm about to play a little video. This is from PlayStation Underground, where they're going to talk about the game. And let's go ahead and just listen to this for a little while. I'm actually a little bit more hyped in this game, and it also uses the aim controller. Let's check this out.
VR, Justin and I checked out a few weeks ago for the first time at an event down in LA held by PlayStation. But Justin, how would you describe this game?
Well, it's a first-person shooter. It's actually got a really cool co-op component to it if you have two players playing simultaneously, where you can use this tether thing. Well, I'm not doing it right now because there's nothing to tether, but you can tether your teammate to heal them up or to apply buffs. Yeah, I'm just playing single player right now, but you'll see some cool uses of the tether a little bit later.
And it's a good-looking game when you actually got the headset on,
yeah,
and you're running
really
around
cool.
in there. Very detailed, like it's a really cool world, like this sort of alien planet.
I have the high ground. Okay, there's something.
I like that you have like a shield on the front of your gun as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can use that to reflect bullets. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
Boom,
There.
boom.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not foolproof, so you don't want to rely on that too heavily.
Yeah, so there's some interesting mechanics to this game that make it just very...
So anyway, I saw some of this footage of Evasion, and this is a game that I really wasn't tripping on, honestly. You know, it was like, oh, another one of these games. It's probably going to be kind of crappy. I don't know why. A lot of times I'm kind of skeptical of games for the most part, especially a developer I really haven't heard of. Like, I've never really heard of Archiac, this developer that is bringing this out. But it's coming to the Vive, it's coming to the Rift, it's coming to PSVR. They're playing the PSVR version right here. The gun has like a built-in shield, you can see that. And it seems to be very arcadey and fun. And he's playing like a single-player mode, and he's using an aim controller. And I plan on grabbing that bundle, the Firewall bundle. I'm going to go ahead and pick that bundle up. Not because I want to play Firewall, to be honest, but because I want an aim controller, and I figure that's just a good way to get it. But here's another game that uses the aim controller, so it's nice to see that, if that can really be implemented and it works well. These are some more screenshots of Evasion. Crunchy says it looks like Halo and PlanetSide. Yeah, that it does very much look like Halo. And you know what else looks like Halo? I was playing it last night. Seeking Dawn. There are definitely certain parts of Seeking Dawn that looks very much like Halo. Roy Schwartz says Blasters dev team, isn't it? No, because Blasters of the Universe was made by Secret Location, and they're working on something completely different. I forget what they're working on, but it's not this. This is made by this company called Archiac, I believe, as far as I know. Chris Gould says, looks like Farpoint. Yeah, these PlayStation guys that are talking about it in this video here, they talk about how the graphics look really good. Let's hear what they're talking about, because they did talk about the different classes and stuff. Let's see if I can get to that part.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can use that to reflect bullets. Let me see if I can...
Yeah.
They're talking about the shield right now, but in a little bit, they start talking about how there's all these different classes, because this is like a multiplayer game as well. I think it's like a co-op kind of a game. But let's listen in right here.
Bullet hell, actually.
A little bit, yeah. There's some of that going on.
You'll see that more with some of the enemies coming up here, but just it's got a great control system. It's actually just a lot of fun. It's very, very readily accessible.
So I'm playing as the engineer, and you might have just seen when I shot that enemy that was standing right there, some chain lightning hit that guy over there, and that's kind of one of the abilities that the engineer has. There are 4 different classes you can play as. I think there's a medic,
There's
engineer,
a
striker. Yeah, there's a few different ones you can play as that all have their own strengths and weaknesses and abilities.
So it looks like it has snap turning and free locomotion. And when the guy was shooting, he was shooting like regular like pulse rifle shots and then like charge up shots. And there's probably, I'm sure there's other kinds of extra power ups that you can get. This game is like legitimately on my radar. It looks a hell of a lot better than I ever thought it was. And the fact that it has a legit single player mode as well, and it's looking pretty good on PSVR. So hopefully on a Rift or Vive, it looks even better, especially people that could like super sample and all of that. Not too bad. So the answer.world says, any news on Magic Leap? As far as I know, it didn't happen today. So my prediction of Tuesday, I kind of thought, honestly, I thought Magic Leap was today. I really did. Because it's Tuesday. If you release something on a Tuesday, everybody is talking about it on Tuesday. People are still talking about it on Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, people go off on trips and stuff. And so, but now Magic Leap, it is going to be August 8th, 2018. So it's 8/8/18. So Magic Leap, because they've been quiet as heck. Roni Abovitz has not tweeted anything. And it's killing Roni. It's killing Roni to be radio silent. Okay, let's throw on a different trailer. There's a couple of new games that have kind of come into the mix today that I personally haven't seen before. We already had Land of Amara, and then we had that one that kind of looks like Utah, the Lost and Forgotten, that puzzle game. There's also this game called The Eerie Inn, and it's like a horror game. Let's check this out by V Dimension.
We've been trying to find a motel for a while now without much luck. Do you know of any place around here we can stay for a decent price?
Yeah, there's a guest house a couple miles down the road. It was opened recently by a young couple, Thomas and Laura Kinsey, if memory
Look at all the furniture.
I did hear a story or two about that motel. Some disturbing things happen there at night.
Kendra, I think the Kinseys are hiding something. Oh gosh.
Looks pretty indie to me, folks. I know this came to like the Gear VR and the Oculus Go, I think. So, but I don't know. From what I'm seeing here, does not look like that. Looks kind of cool right there. I like that.
Do you know of any place around
I like
here we
that
can
style
stay for
right
a
there.
decent price?
Yeah,
But
there's a
then
guest
when they
house
go
a
to
couple
this
miles
other
down the road.
scene, it's just like, look at how sparse it is. There's like nothing around. It's like all they made was that hotel. There's nothing in there. Looks really empty. But this could be a really cheap game too. This could sell for $8.99, $9.99, who knows. So this is called The Eerie Inn. Looks pretty lame. Terry Blanchard says, indie, indeed, basically. Indeed. And Chris Gould says, that game has been out on mobile for ages. Talking a little bit about Meta World, Craig Burns. Anyone else bought into the early access Pioneer Pack for Meta World due end of summer? Dude, I don't know what is going on with Meta World. They had all these grand aspirations, like all these wonderful dreams about Meta World, how it was going to be this new thing. And, you know, there's that one British company that is valued at like several $billion, Improbable, right? There's a British company called Improbable that has made some like amazing backbone type multiplayer system that Meta World is supposed to run on, but the game has been delayed pretty much forever and a day. And so at a certain point, it's like, when is that game ever coming out? So Meta World, you just don't know what the hell. But anyway, here, let me go ahead and put on a different trailer. I'll take a quick look at the news. And oh, you know what I wanted to talk about real quick, actually? Let me throw this on real quick before we go to the news. Okay, we're talking classic Doom right here. Straight classic Doom. Old school Doom. And I was able to play this in VR yesterday and last night, and I'm still trying to get my settings dialed in perfectly, but wow, it's such, the only thing that's kind of weird about it though is I do get a bit of extra motion sickness when playing this game. It's a little bit like, I don't know if there's something that could be done that it gives, I don't know, it's something with the movement or something. And then, you know, I've already talked about the 2D bit maps. Everything is a 2D bit map. But oh my God, it is so fun to visit these places. It's like virtual tourism, you know, because I spent so much time running through this game back in 1994. I played Doom in 1994, and I played it also again in 1995 when the PlayStation came out. That Christmas, they had Doom on PlayStation 1, Christmas of 1995. Oh my God, it was an awesome port of the game, really good. And I played the Jaguar version in 1994. But I was in this room when I was playing, and I was looking up at those monitors up there where it has like the moons and stuff, and just the blinking lights and looking at everything, and it's just so, it's straight up classic Doom. And then Main Fan told me about this guy that made a 3D mod, and so he did a mod to actually make like the models 3D. And so let's take a look at that. This is like this mod that this guy did to make the models 3D. I have not tried this yet, but the shotguns, the characters look kind of weird to me. Like some of the stuff looks really weird. Let's just listen for a sec. Yeah, the character models of some of the enemies just, it almost, I don't know. I mean, it's super cool that it's legit 3D. Like, he legit made it 3D. I do want to try this. I should try this. Because that is cool that he made it legit 3D. Crunchy says it looks like Quake in Doom. Yeah, kinda. See, these guys look pretty good. Their character models look pretty good. That looks kind of good. It looks very cartoony. It kind of almost looks like a Doom cartoon or something. But it's cool. I mean, it's super cool that they're 3D models, because otherwise it's just these cardboard cutouts. It's like Zombie Training Simulator. Makes Doom guy feel short. Chris Gould says looks fun. Crunchy says, oh man, Doom. Paradise, have you tried this mod, like the regular mod? Not this one with the 3D models, but just the regular mod of Doom? Because, dude, holding that gun and just waving that gun and being able to just move and go through these old hallways that I've seen a million times. And the sound is actually pretty decent. Like, it's almost kind of some 3D sound. Terry Blanchard says more immersive, though. Yeah, it's definitely, everything is more immersive with all this 3D stuff, because then you buy into that environment more. I do want to try this. If it's simply a matter of like copying the WAD for it or whatever, and putting it in a folder, I'll definitely do that. I don't know what you got to do to go get it. Crunchy said it is the animation of the enemies. Oh, it looks like Quake and Doom. Yeah, the Cyber Demon right there. You know what? A Cyber Demon came after me when I was playing Doom in VR. This is just the two-dimensional bitmap, right? But the Cyber Demon got right up in my face, and you hear those noises of like a pig, you know, like a pig noise or whatever it is. And it scared me, man. Even though it was like two-dimensional, it scared me. Greg's OR says, I need this in my life. Well, you can get this. You just get the new GZ3 Doom mod. I don't know if this is available, but the regular Doom, Heretic, Wolfenstein 3D, it's all available. You can plug it in and it works, and oh my God, it's pretty awesome. You really got to mess with all the settings, though. It's definitely a little bit of a pain in the ass, because when you're trying to mess with the settings, the text is like unbelievably small, and then the controls trying to like navigate and change stuff in the menus are a serious pain in the ass, no question about it. Okay, so there is a new game that is releasing today, and it is called Electronauts. They did not pay me money for this, but I made this nice little intro. It's pretty cool. You know, we got the Electronauts logo. We got a couple of cool screenshots. and then we'll get into a little trailer for Electronauts. And so here's the deal, guys. I knew Electronauts was coming out today, and I thought, well, you know, I could talk about it on its launch, the two-dimensional bitmap, right? But the Cyber Demon got right up in my face, and you hear those noises of like a pig, you know, like a pig noise or whatever it is. And it scared me, man. Even though it was like two-dimensional, it scared me. Greg's OR says, I need this in my life. Well, you can get this. You just get the new GZ3 Doom mod. I don't know if this is available, but the regular Doom, Heretic, Wolfenstein 3D, it's all available. You can plug it in and it works, and oh my god, it's pretty awesome. You really got to mess with all the settings, though. It's definitely a little bit of a pain in the ass, because when you're trying to mess with the settings, the text is like unbelievably small, and then the controls trying to like navigate and change stuff in the menus. The menus are a serious pain in the ass, no question about it. Okay, so there is a new game that is releasing today, and it is called Electronauts. They did not pay me money for this, but I made this nice little intro. It's pretty cool. You know, we got the Electronauts logo, we got a couple of cool screenshots, and then we'll get into a little trailer for Electronauts. And so here's the deal, guys. I knew Electronauts was coming out today, and I thought, well, you know, I could talk about it on its launch day. So what I'm going to do is play a little bit of Electronauts. Hold on a sec. But we can get back to that in a second here. But the thing I wanted to say about Electronauts, Chris Gould says, going to pass on this as it is exactly the sort of music I want to avoid. Sorry. Well, they actually have a lot of different kinds of songs in here. They've got all kinds of weird stuff, all kinds of different genres, but not a ton of genres. But yeah, I mean, this, like, I wouldn't buy this song and put this in my car, but to play around with this and like make the beat do all kinds of crazy things and do all these special effects, there's a million things you can do with it. The only thing that sucks about it is you're working with their tracks. And so you can remix their tracks and be like the ultimate DJ and do some really cool shit from that standpoint, but you can't save the songs and use them yourself, which that's kind of what I was hoping for. But I played this for an hour and like 15 minutes last night, and my wife played it for 20 minutes, and it's just a fun experience. But it's $18, and I gotta admit, I will straight up admit, if I did not get a key for this, I would not have bought this. No chance. I never would have bought this. No way. And I will completely admit that I would not, like, if I was just a regular, normal, everyday citizen, I would not buy this for $18, but it is damn good. And I'm you know what? It's great demo material too. One of the things I did when I was playing this last night is I hooked it up to my external stereo, and I had my my big, there's a big speaker there, but there's another big speaker over here, and I had my speakers bumping, and I was playing Electronauts. This is the perfect game for that. So if you were having a VR party, you could literally use this game as just the background music for your party, and invite different people to put the headset on and to basically try to become a badass DJ for a couple of minutes. And the way that it works is it makes you feel like a badass DJ, like it really does the job. But I would never buy this. This is not my normal thing. Now, they really need to have a good demo for this game, because I think if they had a good demo, just give them one song to screw around with all the things that you could do with one song, and maybe chop the song in half, and that's all the demo is. Just give them enough of a sample, because I think if people actually sample this for themselves, they would be like, wow, this game actually really is good. There are different kinds of songs. There's different styles of music. Terry Blanchard says, no doubt an update will become available to include your own samples and tracks. I kind of doubt that, but you know what I think Survios will do is if they get enough feedback like what I'm trying to say, which I think they should use AI to build random background beats and random little mixes, and then do all this stuff where you can kind of make your own beat. You can make your own royalty-free beat. And so you're free to use the music. You're free to use it. You can make a song, you can put a rap to it, you can put a regular song to it, and you can put it on SoundCloud, and you would have the rights, but it's like a music creation tool. See, VR, this is entertainment. This is entertainment, but playing this, when I played this, I thought, VR is going to allow you to do everything better. You're going to be able to do everything better in VR and AR, because everything is going to be made where you just grab things, you just move things around, you just set things here, you do this, twist that, turn that. It's going to be, that's how you're going to interact with things. Right now we have to like use a keyboard, we have to scroll up and down, everything. It's going to be a 3D menu. Everybody's going to have to get used to working in 3 dimensions. And this is showing you how you can like remix a song, but you're going to be able to create complete songs from scratch with tools like this. They probably already have some stuff like this, but I want Survios to explore that. And they might sell that for a lot more. You know, they could charge $100 for that if you're making royalty-free music, you know, and you can make, because some of the stuff in this game, I was doing some things and I was like, wow, this sounds like a professional producer, you know? I mean, it's really crazy how good it sounds. Bird Person says, I'm impressed with how many quality titles Survios is putting out. You know, the one thing about Survios, I mean, I will give Survios props. These guys are going to work, and they are making a name for themselves in the VR game. That is one thing that Survios is doing. They're making a name for themselves. They've done quite well up until this point. They continue to do very well. Creed looks outstanding. You know, we know Creed is going to be outstanding. Okay, so I'm just throwing on a random trailer here because what I wanted to do, this is Hellblade. I did not get back into Hellblade last night. Dude, I had no idea I was going to play Electronauts that long. What else did I play? I played a little bit of Doom. I played Electronauts. Something else. But Seeking Dawn, man. I was playing Seeking Dawn last night, and I was really enjoying myself playing some Seeking Dawn. So I'm going to throw a little bit of sound on for this trailer while I bounce over to the subreddits and check the news stories real quick. And then I can cut this out when I come back.
We all agreed that it was cool to be immersed in the scene, but the motion of the camera made the experience quite nauseating.
Could we preserve film grammar without making you feel ill in VR? Could you pan, tilt, dolly and cut without feeling queasy? And so we tried it out. We tried each one of those camera motions in VR to find what the limits were. And we arrived at a concrete set of rules that seemed to be okay for most people we tried this on in the studio.
By this time we'd created our GDC 2016 scene. We adapted the cutscene using our new set of rules for VR and released a 360 video on Facebook, Oculus and YouTube so that everyone could experience it in VR.
That there is nothing to go back to at all.
It was received really well, so we went ahead and applied these rules to nearly all of the scenes in Hellblade. Some of the scenes work better in 2D for technical or
Oh
dramatic
shit!
reasons.
There's a Magic
Another
Leap
major
story on
challenge early
Variety.
on was how do you do free roaming
Everything
third-person
Magic Leap
movements in
1,
VR?
everything we know
Because at
so
the
far.
time,
Oh,
most
you know
games were
what? So
sticking
it's.
to first
I thought
person,
this might be like the first breakdown of all the real
which wouldn't
information.
have been Hellblade. So we ruled out first
yeah,
person,
no,
we ruled
okay.
out
I
teleportation.
thought that was
and
breaking
then said,
information. I
Let's
was like,
come
oh,
up with ideas,
shit.
and we did.
Magic
and we
Leap.
prototyped these ideas, and out of a dozen or so prototypes. we
But
came
anyway,
up with
you know
one.
what? I was looking at all the subreddits. I didn't see much of anything major to get into. Let me see if I had anything else that I wanted to go into today before this show is done. There might be something else. No, I guess I went to... Oh, Echo Combat. Can't believe I almost forgot about Echo Combat. Yeah, so the news on Echo Combat is the next open beta is August 16th. That's Thursday. So a week from this Thursday, that entire weekend, another open beta for Echo Combat where you get to test your strength and stealth in the Echo Combat gear patch. So that is going to be coming up. I like Echo Combat, and it's really interesting, the cat and mouse game that is kind of going on between Echo Combat and Space Junkies, because I feel like there is a little bit of a situation going on here, and Echo Combat is $10. Space Junkies is probably $29.99, I'd have to imagine. I think Space Junkies better get out pretty quick here. But yeah, I like Echo Combat. It's good. Unfortunately, I kind of suck at these games. I'd love to be in a situation where I could play with like 4 of you guys very specifically. Then I wouldn't feel so bad. But yeah, so that is coming next Thursday, August 16th, the open beta. That will be pretty cool. Almost forgot about that. Okay, let's see. I think that was all of the stories that I had pre-baked so far. I'm going to throw back on the Land of Amara trailer, the one that kind of looks a little bit like Stardew Valley. I'll throw this back on, and I'll just take a look and see. Well, let's see. What's going on over up in chat? Yeah, so Bird Person, he did talk about how he was so impressed with Survios is putting out a lot of quality titles. Electronauts is another quality game, no question. Steven Sale says he played Hellblade with his Go, and it's awesome without wires and the comfort of the Go. How the with his Go and ALVR. Wow, so it's some way you're able to like stream it to your Go or something? That's kind of weird. Charles Van Nolan says he's 45 minutes late. Chris Gould says Magic Leap. Yeah, that was a false alarm, folks. I went to the Magic Leap subreddit, and it says everything we know so far about Magic Leap, and it said Variety. And I was like, oh shit, is this the first Magic Leap article? And no, it's just like everything they know right now while they're still waiting to get new information. So they hoodwinked me. So I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. But I'll go ahead and have this on. I want to check out Upload VR. What is their lead story of the day? Their lead story of the day, Electronauts launch day live stream, becoming a trippy VR DJ. Yeah, I know it probably sounds like Survios hooked me up with something on the side and wanted me to talk about Electronauts. I can assure you that is not the case. I did get a key for the game. You know, full disclosure, I got a key for Electronauts, but the first time I played Electronauts, I played it with the idea that I gotta play this game because Survios gave me a key. I gotta at least do him a solid and play the game. I really enjoyed the 45 minutes I spent with it, and then I thought, well, it's about to come out, let me try it again. I played it for like an hour and 10 minutes and had a hell of a time. It's a great demo game. It's a great party game. It's a great party game. The songs, though, it would be super ideal. Like, if you play Electronauts, the first thing you're going to think in your head is, what if they had my favorite songs? And then I could remix my favorite songs, turn the vocals on and off when I wanted to, do all kinds of special effects with your favorite songs. That's what I thought about the more I played Electronauts, and they have a collection of songs that are all these songs I've never heard of. Some of them are pretty good and fun to screw with, but man, how awesome would it be if it had like some real songs that you really knew. They might have DLC for that at some point. That is a possibility. So there, Steven Sales is talking about ALVR. It makes the Go the best headset if the VR game program supports a gamepad. Everyone needs to try it out. Okay, Steven, my question for this is, how close do you need to be to your computer? You know, or to your router or something. Like, how does the game get onto your Go? Like, how does it actually get to your Go? That's what I want to know. There are YouTube videos about it. Sorry, no links. Isn't Go only 3 degrees of freedom? You can't lean closer and stuff like that. Oh, a 5G router. Okay, so there's some kind of router trick that you do. That's interesting. So you got to be in range. You got to be in range of that router. And you have to have a pretty powerful PC within range of that router to do that. Anthony, have you tried or heard of Undead Development? Looks pretty tight, been out for a bit. Yeah, I have heard about it. I saw a little bit about it, but that's one of those games. There are a million games just like Undead Development that just kind of slip through the cracks. How many VR games slip through the cracks? This game right here could end up slipping through the cracks. It's hoping to get a lot of pub from Reddit, get a lot of people talking about it, get a little bit of excitement about it. But all these games can slip through the cracks unless they do a lot of advertising and, you know, somehow they get the word out. It's difficult, man. I feel for games like Undead Development. Let me see if there's another trailer I could throw on just while we're kicking back. Yeah, let's throw on this George Takai. I like this one where there's the dinosaur with George. It's pretty funny. Okay, yeah, so let me, so Upload VR, like I said, they're talking about Electronauts here. They're talking about the Pico Goblin 2. There is this story about the Hiroshima atomic bombing that has been recreated in VR, and this is by students. Let's see, does it say where they were students from? Not seeing that. But anyway, basically, they kind of tried to recreate the effect here. Fluke Rogi actually sent me a little Reddit message giving me some stories, and this is one of the stories he was talking about. I did not, unfortunately, grab a video of this. I could just look up Hiroshima VR and see if I could find a video on it real quick. You know, the thing about Hiroshima, I gotta tell you, man, being an American, I can tell you as an American kid growing up and reading about Hiroshima. Okay, I'm gonna try to get a video for this. Hold on a sec, folks. But I can tell you guys, when you learn history here in America and you grow up and you read about how your country dropped a freaking nuclear bomb. Your country basically dropped a nuclear bomb on real live people. My country, the USA, dropped a freaking nuclear bomb. And whenever I think about that, I think, you know what? Something bad is going to happen. What goes around comes around. Something bad is going to happen. I'm worried, man, because we are the first people that dropped a nuclear bomb. So anyway, let's take a look. On that happy note, let's take a look at how Japanese students recreated the Hiroshima bombing. This is Time. Let's just check this out live. I do not have the rights for this, so hopefully they don't sue me. A group of Japanese high school students have been recreating the 1945 Hiroshima attack in VR. This is the Fukuyama Technical High School handout. The 2-year effort produced a 5-minute virtual reality experience. Terry Blanchard says Hiroshima and Nagasaki within days. Terrible. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, I have like legit feelings about my country being the country that there's only one country, right, in the history of planet Earth that has used a nuclear bomb on humans, and it's the USA. And didn't we drop 3 bombs? Did we drop a total of 3 bombs on Japan? Like 140,000 people. That's why, 3 days later, a second bomb, 70,000. Like, after the first bomb happened, wouldn't you say, okay, we made our fucking point? Like, that is some shit. Like, why did they drop another bomb days later? That is, like, wrong. I mean, this is, I don't want to get into, like, political topics and stuff, but this happens to be a VR thing. It was in the news. The idea is they want it to be as realistic as possible because they don't want people to forget what freaking happened. And it's important that we don't forget. I mean, all these things are important that we don't forget because history has a tendency to repeat itself. So you need to see, look, this has already happened. This has already gone wrong. But I don't like the fact that it was my country. I really don't. That's one of the things I'm not too happy about. Japan didn't think America had any more bombs because they didn't think we could do it again. So a second was dropped. Oh, that is terrible. You would think after, like, they would somehow get the news that they killed like 100,000 people. Like, that's enough. I know Pearl Harbor was completely unjustified. I mean, that's the excuse, Pearl Harbor, right? It's like, well, Pearl Harbor. You know, that's the excuse that we use. But it's just an example. Two wrongs just make it more wrong. So anyway, let's try to get off this depressing thing real here. I'm going to put that, let's throw on that Gates of Nowhere trailer again. This is a little bit depressing, I got to tell you. So I'm going to get off that trailer real quick. The firebombing that was taking place at the time killed way more people than the 2 atomic bombs. Yeah, well, however, man, I don't know. That's just a sad note of history. But yeah, I mean, it's in the news, so we got to cover it. They got it on Upload VR. It's not my fault. Blame it on them. Okay, so yeah, that is the Hiroshima thing. Thanks a lot, Fluke. Thanks a lot for bringing us all down. Let's go to Road to VR. Let's see what they're talking about over at the Road. Okay, this volume's a little bit loud on this trailer. Okay, at Road to VR, Oculus removes handful of fake game reviews, says they're uncommon. Ah, that is interesting. So Oculus has responded basically to the fake game review situation. We had that story, I believe it was yesterday, about the fake game reviews, and Oculus actually admits that they have been removing some. I mean, some of those games were straight up fake. Look, here's some of the reviews. Smart shooter. The gameplay is just a tower. Developer of this miracle. I adore you. Marry me. This game is just top. With this endless shooter, you'll never get off the screen. I advise everyone to buy. Cool shooter. Such a small. I advise everyone to play this wonderful game. Unforgettable experiences. This is all, I think, for Bulletproof, for that one game, Bulletproof. Bulletproof VR or whatever it was called. Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty freaking bad. But yeah, it's probably kind of rare. But yeah, you have a system. Any system can be game like that. That is the unfortunate thing. They have an Electronauts review, Unlock Your Inner Groove. I don't know if I should like give their review score over my show, because that, I'll just say they really liked it. They really liked it. So, you know, they liked it like I liked it, but I won't say the actual review. They obviously want you to go check out the review, but they seem to really like Electronauts. I don't know if, did Upload VR give Electronauts a score? Let me go back and see. Because yeah, Electronauts caught me off guard. I will give props where props are due. Doesn't look like they've reviewed Electronauts maybe at Upload. Oh wait, maybe. Electronauts made me feel like Daft Punk in less than 5 minutes. That's actually a great freaking title. Like Jamie Feltham, that perfectly describes what Electronauts does. It makes you feel like you are a badass DJ in less than 5 minutes, and you are not a badass DJ, but it makes you feel like you are. Oh, they got a new trailer for it, the launch trailer. I should probably just grab this. Oops. Might have already played this trailer though. But yeah, no, Electronauts. Whoops. Electronauts is actually pretty freaking cool. It's Christmas in July. It's Christmas in early August. We are getting so many great games right around this time. We're extremely fortunate. No, they don't have a review though. I'm not seeing a review score for upload, but Road to VR did give it a review. Really liked the game. But yeah, as far as news goes, I'm not seeing much news. So let me go ahead and bounce back over to chat and see what you guys are talking about. Okay, we don't want to talk about Hiroshima anymore. Let me see. America is spiritual Babylon. Read Ezekiel and Revelation. The Lord is coming. Oh, man, I don't even want to know about that. Terry Blanchard, let's see. I am Ruts. Yeah, it sucks, Anthony, for sure. Very sad to see any lives lost. Yeah. 3 miles on the sun is like I gained 0.0001 pounds. Not sure what he's talking about there. Chris Gould, why on earth do they just restrict reviews to those who actually paid for the game? Get rid of the whole free keys thing. Well, you don't think reviewers should get free keys? Because I can tell you, man, free keys save my ass because I do not have the money to buy all these. There's so many games. I had to buy Seeking Dawn. I had to buy Marvel Powers United VR. I don't get free keys for a lot of games. And as somebody that hasn't made any money on this whole process, I've lost money. As somebody that has lost money and hasn't made a penny, game keys are my lifeblood. But I could understand someone on the outside saying, yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. You know, all the people that are reviewing these games, they didn't pay for them. So how do they really know what the game is worth? They're not risking their hard-earned money. You know, you guys have to pay $18 to get Electronauts. I got it for free. So it's easy for me to say that Electronauts is badass and you got to run out there and buy it when I got it for free. You know, and you guys got to pay $18, and that's if you get it at the launch price. This is the launch trailer. Let me see if this is new at all.
Somebody scream!
It's not really. It's just showing all the different. Like, see the Chainsmokers. I mean, there's some known bands and stuff. It'd be much cooler though, like if you could get very specific songs that you really love. It would just be really fun. It's just fun. I could describe Electronauts with 3 letters, F-U-N. That is all you need to say. It's fun, period, dot. But again, like I said, if I was a civilian, I would not buy this for $18, I admit. Because I would be saving my $18 for something that was more game-ish, you know. But that's me. Bird Person says, that's some dubstep. Well, yeah, you always get dubstep in a lot of these trailers. They're just trying to make it look like a hyped party, man. Oh my god, it's so cool, man. It's like Burning Man, but you're like a DJ. It's like so awesome. But it's a pretty cool game. It's a pretty cool game. I like it. Paradise Decay says Electronauts is good, but it lacks real creation. Yeah, it does, but what it does damn good. I just like Paradise. I'll ask you, do you know some of these artists? Are you familiar with some of those songs? Was there a particular song you really liked vibing out to? Because I haven't tried all of them. I've only tried like 4 or 5 songs. I will tell you this. Some of the songs, the background is like a music video. Do you guys remember Surge VR? It's an awesome thing. Oh man, I got to grab that one, Surge VR. Let me see if I can grab Surge VR real quick. Because if you guys remember Surge VR, it's a music video that is in VR, and it is a badass music video in VR. Super impressive. It's made by, isn't it made by, who's it made by? Now I don't remember. Okay, let me try to get this trailer for Surge. Because the cool thing about it is that Electronauts, some of the songs have a background that is like a music video. It's like you're doing Surge. You know, it's like a music video like that. It's like a music video that was made for VR. Some of the backgrounds are just kind of this generic tunnel that doesn't give you that. But some of them give you like these real like music video type thing, which is really quite sweet. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to just grab this dude's video. This is where, see, whenever I just grab random dudes' videos, number one, it might be 720p. I might have to resize it. Number two, I give pub to these unknown people. But it's all right. I guess share and share alike, right? And then hopefully somebody doesn't come after me. But let's see what people are talking about in chat. Paradise Decay says, there is no way I can get all the games I cover, and reviewers don't normally get free keys for AAA VR games. Terry Blanchard says, but you still give honest opinion even if you did get it for free. Well, we can talk more about that because I think human nature, I think you are colored slightly. I will totally admit that I think it is human nature. When you get something free, you want to look for the good in something, because I'll freely admit that game, The Walker, by the Chinese developer, they gave me a key for that game. It's a $20 game for PlayStation VR, and I almost felt like I was trying to go out of my way to look for good about that game, and that is wrong. I shouldn't, but I felt, they gave me the key. I'm trying to look for a good quality of the game. And that's kind of, so it's an issue. It's an issue. But okay, so here's this music video Surge that I was telling you guys about. Let's see if this is on this other dude's channel. Ecos VR, virtual reality. Okay, oh man, it's one of these. I don't like watching these style videos. Can't they just make it all one window? I guess it goes through the whole entire song. So I'll wait till it kind of gets up and running. But yeah, there's a music video called Surge VR. It's a super cool experience. And those of you that had PlayStation VR and you guys got the Chainsmokers in Paris VR experience, which is super, super awesome. Unfortunately, no longer available. You can't get it. It's impossible to get as far as I know, which really, really sucks, because Chainsmokers in Paris was super cool. This is Surge. You can get this for free on Oculus or Vive, and it's freaking awesome. And that's one of the cool things with that Electronauts is like there's a couple songs where they give you like a real music video background. God, this thing is taking a long time to get started, huh? Fluke Rogi says, technically, Surge is a demo scene demo. One of the very few. Not really a music video. There's a difference in my mind, at least. Well, it's fucking badass, whatever it is. I consider it a music video because it's music and it's video. And it looks really cool. This is fucking cool right here. Like, I don't think none of the background videos in Electronauts look as good as this. I'll admit that. But they do, some of them do some nice stuff. But none of them look quite as good as that with, bouncing to the beat like that. If you could use Electronauts as a music visualizer for your own music, I would be interested. Yeah. I mean, I and a lot of people should be interested, because I do believe it could be a way for people to actually create. Like, people are going to start creating things 100% in a VR world. Like, there's going to be things. This was entirely created in VR. That's going to be a little thing that you're going to see. Or AR, a lot of experiences entirely created in VR and AR and revolutionized in VR and AR. Like, I think I'll be able to edit videos in VR and do all kinds of, or I guess you have to have VR videos. Like, I don't know how it's going to work, but it's going to be crazy. Paradise Decay says, I must admit, I used to feel bad hating on a game. I got the key, but you get so many now and so many trash, I have started to call out bad VR games. Yeah, what I do a lot is sometimes I just don't talk about a game. And one of the things I tell developers is, if your game speaks to me, like, because I can't guarantee that I'm gonna talk about a developer's game for sure. I don't know that I am. And so I don't want to make a false promise and say I'm guaranteed to, because some of these developers, they'll say, well, you got to do this in this video. And I'm like, nah, man. If I'll talk about your game if it speaks to me. If it doesn't speak to me, I don't really want to talk about it. Of course, now that I'm doing a daily show, yeah, this was produced at House of Secrets, the guys behind Kin, by Arjun Van Merten, visuals and music. So yeah, this is the dude that made Kin. Like, how fucking cool is that? Damn, we've been going pretty long, huh? It's over an hour. Let's see. I thought I grabbed some other video I wanted to show you, but maybe not. Hold on one sec. I wish I had a sidekick that I could say, okay, dude, come over here. Hop on the mic for a second. I'm going to look some stuff up. Be nice if I had a sidekick. Yeah, no, I think, okay, those were all the trailers I grabbed, I guess. I thought maybe I might have grabbed one more trailer. But no, that's pretty much it. So let's see here. What can we do now? Well, let me go ahead and check chat real quick. Chris Gould says he really wants harmonic music on Rift. You know, I've only played the demo for Harmonix Music VR on PlayStation VR, right? I've only played the demo, but I really liked that demo. Like, I really seriously liked that demo. So it would be cool if Harmonix Music VR made it to the Oculus Store and made it to Steam, and if it was priced very aggressively, like $7.99, that would be super cool. Bird Person says that was great. Chris Gould says Harmonix. Terry Blanchard, talking about getting free games and stuff, says, know what you mean. Guess you must have an interest in the title before getting the free key. Well, sometimes we just get random people giving us keys out of the blue. And, you know, sometimes you'll take a chance and try one of these games. You just never know. Chris Gould says, a good music visualizer on the go will take my money. I'm surprised they don't have any already. Steven Sale says, I want to try 3D modeling in VR. Anyone done it yet? No, but like people are talking about designing entire games in VR. You know, like that is going to be a thing at some point. Terry Blanchard says CSI style VR gameplay for the future. Crunchy says this current video reminds me of the old Amiga Music 3D rendered demos in the late 80s and the early 90s. Craig Burns says late for bed UK. Yeah, oh my god, it's hella late in the UK, huh? I'm going to just take one last quick look at the various subreddits, just see, is there any late breaking news stories? Probably not, and then we'll just go ahead and bounce out of here. They are talking about new SSDs to flood the market. Expect SSD price to fall as a result. This is PCGamer.com. Samsung is building new high-capacity SSDs to flood the market with 1 terabyte drives. 1 terabyte SSD drives. And just when I need to build a new computer, more bloodshed. But yeah, that is the #1 story on the HTC Vive subreddit. Land of Amara, the Patreon. We've shown that video a couple times. Looks a little bit like Stardew Valley. That is the #2 story on the HTC Vive subreddit. There's a Mario Kart VR story. Seems to be very popular. Mario Kart VR, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Doom VFR. They are all 30% off. This was posted by Dow1Dow. Let's see, where at? Steam. So I guess it's all on Steam. Skyrim, Fallout, and Doom, in celebration of the fact that Bethesda is never going to be on Steam ever again. You can get all these games for 30% off. Gee, how random. How curious is that? That is very, very curious. All right. Well, anyway, guys, I've been bouncing I've been doing this for quite a long time. So let me go ahead and get my outro trailer on. We will call this a day. I will see everybody tomorrow. Of course, it is still going to be at this 2:30 p.m. Pacific time for Wednesday, for tomorrow, Wednesday. And there is a possibility. There is a possibility it could be a Magic Leap Wednesday. So yeah, we will see everybody tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. See you guys then. Later.